Welcome back, everybody, to the Beyond the Summit studio. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Merlini, who's graciously agreed to cast some Navi with us later today.
Shut up, Kappa enabler. Look at his T-shirt. He's wearing a fraternity T-shirt, except he just happens to be blocking out two of the side letters.
What can I say? I'm a member of the Kappa fraternity.
Capitalist.
My brother would probably be very upset because he's
capitalist. Right here.
You're very original, Ben. Did you come up with that all by yourself?
Well, we're gonna do Capritunist too. That works too.
He's been trying out like the worst possible puns on me all day, but well, that was Group A, guys. We'll have a highlight video for you later today as far as what happened on day one of Group B action. But I think it's a good opportunity for us to take a look at the group standings, and we can talk a little bit about some of the matches we've seen so far. You haven't really watched any of them, but I'm sure you'll be interested to see the results.
Of course. I heard LGD on a roll.
He's been studying furiously, and by studying furiously, I mean sleeping. Yeah, LGD on a roll when they get to play. Hopefully they won't forfeit too many more. They did forfeit 2 of their games, so they still took a 4-0 victory, or 2-0 victories in their 2 matches in Group A. In the end, it'll be Team DK, who advances as the 1 seed out of Group A. Just a refresher course for anyone who missed the opening days of action. But over in Group B, that's where we're at now. That's where all the action is. That's where the biggest names in this tournament are. Orange, IG, Navi, Tongfu, Zenith. This is about as stacked as it gets. And a lot of fan favorites
both groups are stacked.
They're both stacked, but I do feel B has the more flashy and popular teams. Right. Mm-hmm. You look at Group A, LGDN's probably the biggest fan favorite team, at least in the West. But nonetheless, they're both very solid, very stacked groups. 10 teams headed to the International 3. And over in Group B, Orange had the best day on day 1. They start off 3-1, IG 2-0, so pretty good for them as well. And then I guess the question is, how is Navi going to do? They've had yet to play a game. They just touched down in Shanghai earlier today, I believe.
Yeah, should be pretty exciting for them. I mean, they do have to get accustomed to jet lag and whatnot. People will always give them that excuse if they lose.
You had a lot of jet lag coming all the way from Vegas. It was a really arduous trip. He was whining about it, too. It was great.
Oh, my God. I think Blitz is the king of whining, though.
Yeah. Merlini and Blitz are constantly flaming each other behind the scenes.
I'm just flaming him all the time. He doesn't really flame me.
He just kind of takes it and ignores it. And then how can you flame Blitz? He's like a lovable teddy bear.
I mean, he's really worried about his Skype combos getting revealed, too. I was like, we share computers sometimes here, and I was logged into his Skype, and he was just like, oh, my God. I don't know what's on there.
You were chatting with his girlfriend. Apparently, she liked your haircut.
I mean, I just webcammed her. It's no big deal there.
Oh my God. This is so uncomfortable for Blitz right now. I'm loving every second of it. All right, well, we've looked at the standings. We've talked about how things went in Group A. Let's actually take a look at our schedule for today, see what matches we have coming up for you guys. It's 3 best-of-2s. Again, the format for this tournament, many of you probably just tuning in because you're Navi fans and you want to see how Navi's doing. Well, the format, for those that don't already know, it's a group stage with best-of-2 format. You get 1 point for each game you win. No teams are eliminated from the group stages. Even if you lose every single match, you still start in the winner's bracket of the playoffs. The first place teams get seeded much farther along. Since it's a 10-team double elimination bracket, the first place team from each group, they get seeded into the semifinals of the winner's bracket. So first place is where the big prize lies. And looking at these 3 matches, we have Navi versus Tongfu. That'll be our first match of the evening. Immediately following that, IG versus Orange Esports. And then last but not least, Zenith versus Navi. I think that's the match that I'm most excited about. But what stands out to you?
Saving the best for last today. I mean, Orange is on top of Group B right now. So I'm pretty excited to get to see them play versus the Chinese powerhouse IG. Should be a very, very good game.
And IG is that one team that's undefeated so far. They are 2-0. They've only played 1 game. So this is an opportunity for Orange to not only win some games, but you put a loss on IG's record, and then, well, at best they'll be tied with you. Mm. So Orange will be looking forward.
They'll all be really good games, though.
They'll all be good games, I hope. I hope Navi has had a chance to rest, or if not, is drinking whatever energy drinks.
If they lose, it's only because of jet lag.
Yeah, we have an excuse.
Getting accustomed to Chinese computers.
You're good at making excuses, Ben. Do you have some practice?
Everyone's good at making excuses.
I mean, you seem really like it's like a natural thing for you, though.
Why not?
It's your state of being. All right. Well, that's our schedule for today.
Who do you think's going to win each of these 3?
I'd have to see the schedule again, but I would.
Navi versus Tongfu, IG versus Orange, and Navi versus Zenith.
Oh, it's so hard.
I'll put you on the spot.
Tongfu did not look very good yesterday. And I guess the question is, how well is Navi going to match up against them? It's a very different style. I believe it was Orange who played them yesterday. Orange and Navi have quite different styles, but I would probably say I think Navi will at least take 1 game off of Tongfu. If I had to bet money on it, I'd say they'd actually 2-0 them. Navi has been in good form lately, whereas Tongfu, has been in good form, but then yesterday really looked. They had some very questionable decision making, and it's hard for me to say in the end. But second match, IG looked really good, so I'd say IG 2-0. As well as Orange has been playing, maybe 1-1, but I definitely don't see Orange 2-0ing IG. And last but not least, Navi versus Zenith. For that, that's so hard
That's
to.
probably
It's like it
that's probably the
depends.
most difficult one.
It depends which Zenith shows up, right? Like, are they going to troll us and pick like ridiculous lineups? They picked Sand King Triad, and they ran an aggressive tri-lane with those.
Those two heroes own.
In an aggressive tri-lane?
Why not? Dude?
How do you kill someone?
Sand King's amazing.
That was not a good tri-lane. They lost that game very poorly.
Living
or very
armor.
badly.
Living armor OP.
Living Armor is still really good, but not the best aggressive tri-lane composition. So we'll see what Zenith shows up, but I would say that should be a 1-1 for me.
Okay.
Those are my predictions. We've done them all at once. You've spoiled the fun. We're supposed to save them for later, but well, with that being
Sorry for ruining your perfect schedule.
you've ruined everything.
I'm
Ben.
capping the cap.
I can actually hit this desk because it doesn't break.
Oh yeah, you're angry. I know why you don't play Dota
It's been
anymore.
an emotional day for me.
You just go through a table, just like boom, just every time you die, which is I would imagine quite often.
I never die.
It's because you never play.
Can't die then. I actually do play a decent amount, but that's neither here nor there.
That's a complete lie. That's a bold-faced lie right there. Bald face.
Are you calling me bald?
He said he had a Widow's Peak, and he has clearly not taken genetic because they clearly go over what a Widow's Peak is, and it's just a receding hairline.
I didn't say I had one.
Yes, you did.
I said like
You
whatever.
tried to pull it off.
Jesus, you're an asshole. All right, we'll move along here. We'll introduce the next match coming up, and then we'll take a quick break and we'll get
Excellent.
set. So next match is going to be Tongfu versus Navi. We'll start with Tongfu. Speaking of haircuts, how quite a chrome dome he's rocking there. Some weird stuff going on with his forehead and.
Given ideas for my stylist.
Yeah, but how a fantastic carry player. He's really been solid as of late for this team. Not a flashy carry, but definitely a solid one. Of course, Mu, your solo mid, probably the most explosive player on this team and very, very aggressive, especially by Chinese solo mid standards. Third position player, King J. Legendary King J from the old eHome of 2010 that pretty much owned the entire Dota world. He joined the team recently. King J as well as Banana left for love, and ever since then, Tongfu's been a lot stronger. And Merlini's just smiling and nodding. I'll continue. Banana, 4-position player for this team. Banana played one of the most ridiculous twin-headed dragons you will ever see. If you didn't catch his match yesterday where he handled that hero against Orange, you definitely should check out the VOD. It was fantastic. I believe it was against Orange. And last but not least, we have Sangsheng, 5-position, been on the team for a while along with Hao and Mu. In that sense, they're sort of the core of this team. We'll bust out the hexagons now. We have hexagons today. Very well-rounded team, I think, for Tongfu. They have solid skill. They make generally pretty safe standard drafts. They're not afraid to experiment a little bit here or there, and they execute reasonably well. I would say they're probably the most well-rounded team in this tournament. Not to say they're the best, but just they don't have a glaring weak point.
But at the same time, they don't have a glaring strength
Exactly. They're just well-balanced.
I'm going to call you out on your Chinese pronunciation. We'll work on that
I'll let
later.
you introduce Navi.
Okay, so here we have Havos, the legendary carry player for Navi, famous for Gyrocopter, Luna, but mostly his lifestealer. And then we have Dendi, the even more famous solo mid. He plays pretty much every hero solo mid, probably the first Skyrat that I've seen in Dota 2 in the competitive scene. Magnus, Puck, and TA amongst his top 3. And then we have Funnick. This guy is just a beast. Legendary Clinks as well as Batrider. I think he just plays that hero ridiculously well. And then we have Puppy, the team captain for Navi, famous for his support play from Chen, Enchantress, Keeper Light, Wisp. He plays them all. And then last but not least, we have Kuroki. Triple Rubik. He does have a fantastic Rubik. Navi almost always picks him up when he has in. I mean, that's just a ridiculous lineup.
Except when his Rubik is a lone druid. We've rated them rather highly. I think Navi is coming back into form as of late. They have been dominating in Europe. There was a long period where they were in a funk. They made the roster change initially, and you go back, and I think they went like 8-1 in their first 9 matches, and a lot of it was Dendi solo mid-storm. Then Navi started to struggle. Things kind of came apart for them. They did well at EMS, did pretty poorly at DreamHack. Results were mixed, but they're going to China to train, to boot camp, and to get serious, because the International 3 is coming. I think it's like a month and a half from now or so, 6 or 7
August
weeks.
7th? Yeah.
Yeah, starts on August 7th, and I think they're on the way, on the upswing, to say the least.
I guess they are a little inconsistent as a team, but I mean, when they're on fire, they are just on fire though.
Unstoppable if they get into the groove. Navi just has that mojo about them, or at least they did at the International too. Will they have it this year? Well, we'll have to wait and see. So that's our match coming up, guys. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to be live with Na'Vi versus Tongfu. Best of 2 format. We'll just play 2 group stage games, and then we'll move along with the rest of the day. Thank you all for joining us. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Purge and Blitz. We are getting ready to start the cast. It's going to be Na'Vi versus Tongfu. Finally get to see Na'Vi perform in the East. This is going to be a little reminiscent of what we saw at G1 where Team Liquid and Alliance showed up and played against the Chinese teams. How do you think they're going to do?
Pretty decently. This is Na'Vi. That's they're like the team that has that magic behind them, you know? Like Alliance, obviously, they proved that they're one of, if not the strongest team in the world. But everyone cares about how Na'Vi does, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of like the fan favorites. They always have been. They were the winners of the International 1. They got second in the follow-up. So there's like a certain mystique that comes along with being a fan of the team.
Yep, it should be pretty sweet to watch the games. Well, we're actually into the draft, so come on and hop in the game with us. Thanks everybody for tuning in, by the way. It's actually going to be a first-round banned Wisp out of Tongfu, a little scared of Funnick, understandably. Guy plays pretty amazing Wisp when needed. Gyrocopter Treant Protect is what Navi's going to run. Tongfu first pick to Visage, and they're also going to respond with a Spectre. So interesting drafting so far. Rocket Barrage is really effective against Spectre even in the mid game, so they will have some single target damage options there.
Yeah, and a tree pickup really early. A really good hero just in general. It's really defensive. It keeps your towers alive. It helps whoever's going mid, so if Dendy's having any sort of issues, Tree Armor should be able to... It almost adds like extra regen at all times for whoever Dendy decides to play mid. And a quick Gyrocopter pickup. I think that's just... the hero overall is being really highly valued right now. Every time I see it, it goes in the first two.
The Treant?
No, the Gyrocopter.
Oh, the Gyrocopter, yeah. Especially, think about DK. DK picked Gyrocopter almost every single game. Even some games when they would lose with Gyrocopter, they just picked him repeatedly. They didn't really care. I mean, he has received some nerfs lately. Flat Cannon got an increased cooldown, I believe up to 30 seconds from like 20 in the past, but the hero is still played a lot because Call Down is fantastic, Rocket Barrage are fantastic, and Flat Cannon scales extremely well into the late game.
Everything is a really low cooldown, and farming the Ancients and the jungle camps in general are just really easy with Gyrocopter.
Yeah.
So catching up or getting ahead with him is really easy. And team fights are also just point and click, right? You turn on Flat Cannon and that hits everything.
Yeah, very good against Visage Bats as well, actually, which is kind of a nice little benefit. Once you get to a decent damage area, you can just flak down those birds and get a bunch of extra gold. And a lot of targeted bans towards some core Navi heroes that haven't been picked up yet. Most notably, they have Puck as well as Chen. Puppy plays an amazing Chen, Dendy plays an amazing Puck, and they're not going to have to worry about delay issues either, because these guys, Navi is in not in Singapore, Shanghai, I believe. So I believe they're playing on Chinese servers, so it should be a pretty even matchup here.
Yes, in terms of delay, the one thing that has always separated the European scene from the Eastern scene has been the fact that the delay would be way too big. And so this kind of gets rid of it. We get to see what Navi can do under ideal circumstances and ideal ping, so that's not an excuse here. Rubik going to be quickly picked up by Navi. As this, our analysts discuss, that's Kuroki's hero. It's the really high skill cap support. He can do everything with it. I mean, you'll never really see a Rubik played with the same amount of flair as somebody like Kuroki.
Especially when we're talking about some of the matches that he's done really well in. It was right when Magnus was really popular. That guy steals RP almost every single time it's used against his team, and you don't always expect the Rubik to throw back at you. So when he can cast RP against your opponents after the team fights have clumped a little bit, he's going to catch at least 2 or 3 heroes, which is always super effective. So.
Yeah, he has the playmaking ability of somebody that in Dota 1 he was a mid player and a carry, so he's always been playing those action roles, and it's kind of shown in his support play. Sometimes you do see a little bit of inconsistency, but when he comes, when he's really on, there's nobody that really quite plays that hero like Kuroki does. But a Clockwork going to be picked up by Tongfu. I'd imagine that'd be their long lane hero.
Yeah, I would expect so as well. He's okay against Gyrocopter in the lane as long as he doesn't get caught under cogs with Gyro, for example. But he can do cog harass on the Gyro. He's going to have to stay out of Flat Cannon range. And he does have a lot of damage sources against targets like the Treant. Like Battery Assault does so many attacks that within a couple seconds you will break through the tree armor at least. And initiating on heroes like Rubik or even Windrunner is also going to be very effective.
Yeah, Windrunner going to be picked up by Navi. They needed a long laner for Funnick, and there it is. Already, the Darkseer was banned, and the Clockwork was picked, so I think this was kind of the next best thing for Navi. I guess they have the tree now, so I guess the tree would be the support.
Yeah, I feel like there haven't been that many tree offlanes lately. Most people are playing him as a support.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the right way to do it?
If you can safe lane and just pick up levels and kind of really play passively, then it's fine. Just because you can stack, pull, kill the stack, give your mid a bunch of help, then it's alright. But I remember, I can't remember which team it was yesterday. They tried running an offensive tri-lane tree.
Yeah, they ran a Visage Sand King. No, it's a Visage tree plus a carry or something like that, I thought.
I thought it was a Sand King, a tree plus Gyro, I think it was.
Gyro?
I think those were the 3 heroes.
Something really weird that didn't end up
Regardless,
being
it was a tree and a tri-lane, and it didn't really quite work out.
Yeah.
I think this hero does need to go in the safe lane to really flourish.
So last pick, or fourth pick, excuse me, from Tongfu is coming up in a bit. They have a hard carry, they have a support, they have a long lane, so they need either a a mid hero or another support.
Yeah, I'd imagine they'd take, well, there's quite a few mids left over, so they could just wait out, see what Navi gets, and kind of counterpick around that. Maybe Navi decides to go with that OD that's been so popular in the West, that Obsidian Destroyer, or Outworld Destroyer plus Tree combination that's been really good lately. And maybe they just don't want to run into something like that.
So do you think Tongfu's gonna have to snag their mid hero up now?
Oh,
They will
and-
actually.
Yeah,
so.
they're gonna pick up the Dragon Knight.
Okay, so Dragon Knight mid. This is gonna allow Navi to possibly counterpick this hero if they need to. They don't. There's a lot of options that they can put against Dragon Knight. The hero has gone down in win percentage a bit since the Bottle Crow nerf, since he isn't able to get as many bottle charges. It might just be increase of level of play against the hero, but he has gone down very slightly since the last patch went through.
Yeah. And Tongfu, they get their support ban. They need to support Navi, on the other hand, unless they plan on putting Gyrocopter mid. They need a mid. So I imagine Tongfu will ban out a mid. Maybe something like some of the more common heroes that Dendi plays. There's a Queen of Pain available to him, a Magnus, who actually has seen quite a bit of a nerf though. I know that Navi in general just likes to give Dendi that action hero, the one that really has that playmaking ability.
I'm not really sure what they're going to go for though, but they have lots of ban targets, but really just one to throw in here before Navi has to grab a hero. Is there anything they're really missing in their composition? They currently have a lot of stuns, a decent amount with Rubik Lift as well as Windrunner Shackle. Trian can use Overgrowth as well, which is pretty good against some of their heroes, but to counter the Spectre, I'm not really sure. I feel like they need some. I think they need more ganking personally. And since they have a Treant support, they can't really smoke gank that often either, so I feel like they need some kind of a ganking mid hero.
Yeah, some sort of tempo creation for the Gyrocopter. I think they also need another damage dealer. That would be ideal, just because it feels like they're a bit weak in terms of damage, just because you have a
Yeah,
Rubik
that's
who
true.
is more theoretical damage, and what is he going to steal on the other side that is really going to up his DPS?
The dagger.
And the tree.
Yeah.
And then the
Breathe Fire
Windrunner
would
is
be
more of a
okay.
utility long lane hero than she is
Yeah.
a pure out DPS one.
Maybe they're anticipating a Windrunner mid since they did ban out the
Weaver?
The Weaver here. So
Yeah.
maybe they're expecting Windrunner's going to go mid. That would have been their off lane, and that would have been not bad actually if they did have a Weaver offlane. Visage and Spectre both don't have good ways of shutting him down, so he could have just ran away.
Yeah. 11 seconds, 10, and a Templar Assassin going to be picked up by Navi.
Okay. So he has a pretty good last hit advantage over Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight can breathe fire, but other than that, Templar Assassin can easily get better denies. And Tongfu grabs the jungling hero with the Enchantress. That should give them some pretty good early pressure possibilities against the enemy players. So we are into the game, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Let's go over the Radiant team quick. This is Team Tongfu. Hao is going to be playing the Spectre. We've got King J on the Clockwork. Sen Cheng is playing the Visage. We've got Banana on the Enchantress. And the last player is going to be Mu on the Dragon Knight.
And for Navi, this feels really historic, so I'm not going to mess this up. We've got Puppy playing the Treant Protector, Havas playing the Gyrocopter, Dendi going to be playing that Templar Assassin, Kuroki going to be playing the Rubik, and Funnick going to be playing that Windrunner. And they're already starting to 5-man. Both teams should be able to do this. Just protect their jungle out, make sure that no wards are placed down to protect the pull. And actually, do you see Puppy's build? He's opted to go... He's kept 223 gold, and he's actually just picked up a pair of sentries and nothing else.
Interesting. I wonder why he's doing this. Maybe he's going to go for a fast Stout Shield so that he can trade hits with the Clockwork or something like that. That would allow him a lot more protection. Normally we see people, oftentimes supports, save money at the start in case they need sentries. In this case, he actually bought them already, so I'm going to assume it's something like a Stout Shield, or that would be my guess, I guess.
And actually, Funnick is the hero that I'm going to watch here. He's actually picked up boots. He was stacked some regen. And so one pair of tangos was bought by Puppy for him. I think he'll do okay in this, as long as Enchantress doesn't pick up any really annoying creeps. I think the net creep is what's really going to hurt him, if anything.
Yeah.
Especially with this really fast boot pickup, he should be okay.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. He doesn't actually have a salve, but with the extra tree armor as well as all the tangos, it's going to be pretty hard for him to die, I agree. And again, they don't have hard disables, so Rune's going to be top. The first attack's going to miss from Funnick, and it's going to be a DD. Kuroki's going to be able to pick this up, of course, so he might be able to gank on the mid lane. Puppy doing some D-warding. It's going to be an Observe Ward, gets picked off very, very fast here. So this means that they could possibly gank Mu if they want to. It's still going to be a tough gank to pull off successfully, but at least with the ward gone, they're going to be okay.
So King J decided to do the Clockwork Trap, but Havas, anticipating this, has been blocking this top lane this entire time.
Wow.
And normally when you do this, it'll push it to the tower, but in this way, he's making it so that it doesn't just immediately die to the tower.
So he blocked his wave all the way. One other way that you can actually deal with this is if you come forward as the carry, you can pull the further forward creep and dance it around in a circle until the creeps meet perfectly. And actually, it's going to end up pushing the wave now, and there's not a whole lot he can do about it because that first creep did die first. So if King J just sits back and plays it safe, and the pull comes a little bit late from Navi, they're not actually going to be able to control this lane for a bit.
Yeah, I was anticipating Kuroki just grabbing that to harass with. They don't have any smokes on the supports, so I think they actually just plan on playing this really passively. and Puppy will just keep tree armoring Dendi and the Windrunner at bottom, and hopefully that'll keep him alive. And Funnick actually able to trade right clicks for free because of this.
Wow, he's doing a ton of damage, actually. Visage is already out of tangos. He's got a Salve picked up, but, man, the tree armor here really puts Windrunner back into the metagame, because before, she doesn't trade that effectively against other supports. Her armor's relatively low, and if you can shut down her Windrunner movement speed, she doesn't end up being that effective down here. But it's really cool to allow more offlane heroes to come back into the metagame as a result. But she is getting ganked here. There's a Hellbear Smasher right onto melee range. That's going to clap. Here comes the net as well as Windrun is being used, but now back to normal movement speed. She needs to get around the Enchantress. Great blocking from Banana so far, and Funnick is going to probably get picked off. Enchantress takes the first blood. Nice gank there, and pretty sick micro there from Tongfu. Tree armor was not enough.
Yeah, and wow, Banana, he's been impressing me every single time I see him. Being able to get both the spells off on the hero, onto Funnick, being able to block him off with the hero as well, and getting the last hit. Banana just seems like an all-star every time I see him play.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Puppy's currently pulling, going to grab some free EXP here. Takes a double Centaur lane out. Missing some last hits, though. That's going to be pretty crucial as a support hero. So he does pull the next large camp in, thanks to Kuroki's help. And Clockwork's going to try to contest this, but we'll see if he can do it. Doesn't look like it, though.
Yeah. And meanwhile, although he did die, Funnick did die, at the same time, it ends up pushing the creep wave. And so he's able to pick up some much-needed experience here. So it was kind of, it sucks to die for first blood, but at the same time, being able to get this much free experience is actually worth it in some cases.
Yeah, that is true. Pulling the wave back now looks really good for him, too. So some EXP on him. Spectre is going to run back. Templar Assassin snags the regenerate that he did bottle up earlier. So he's doing a pretty good job against Moo here. Moo actually grabbed a really early magic stick. Do you think this is worth it against a TA? I feel like this isn't going to pay off that much.
It's also a long-term investment as well, just in case. In team fights and stuff, it'll pay off, but it's more just, I think it's because Moo is having some issues in the middle lane. I mean, he's kind of being dominated, 14-9 for Dendi and 8-1 for Moo. So just trying to stop the bleeding here, picking up a wand. But Dendi doing a really good job of using the side blades at all times.
Yeah, he did pick up a level of his passive there, at level 2 actually, so that he could get a little bit more attack range. He keeps getting denies here. Moo's only got 9 last hits. Dendi's up to 16 now, doing a great job on the mid lane. Keeps using Melt Strikes. He's been doing this constantly. Great stun. Here comes the Centaur stun. That's going to land on him as well. There's the clap, puts him at half HP. He needs to get out of here. He's got a full bottle, but he does get picked off. Tongfu able to snag the kill on Dendi on the mid lane. Man, Banana is just making the plays. Perfect stun timing for the Dragon Knight, and they set up the follow-up.
Yeah, and Banana was right there for that. I can't imagine Dendi expected that to happen, especially, was he smoked?
I don't believe so. Dendi was
it
sitting
looked like
right
he
at the
just
bottom
walked
of the
in.
ramp. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was right in the middle of the river. You don't have good high ground vision there, and the stun into the combo was just enough.
Yeah, and at the same time, Dendi's been using Meld every single time that Moo comes close enough to try to CS, and while that has paid off in terms of harass, it makes it really easy for the Enchantress to come and gank you, because you don't need dust.
Yep, and if that is on cooldown, like we said, you just stand there. Or at least you have to run. You can't actually just stand invisible. So Wand is picked up. There's the bottle currying back. Moves back to the mid lane. Even still, they did get that kill, but he is still a bit behind in CS. So he needs to make up for this if he wants to get his BKB at a reasonable time. Funnick actually invis on the bot lane level 4. Still trying to grab some EXP, but How's just free farming. And he's actually going the max dagger build. So.
And actually a tornado creep, the Wild Wing Ripper being sent mid just to kind of mess with Dendi. As this is actually the most annoying creep possible that you can send mid to deal with a mid hero. Especially one like TA where she's refract heavy, just to deal with harass and stuff like that. But managing to outrun the tornado.
Yeah, a small mistake from the Enchantress actually. He did send the tornado all the way under tower. Dendi hid from it, and it doesn't have very good vision anymore like it used to. Might see a stun on Dendi. No, he's just going to take some poison damage here. And boy, does that burn down fast.
Yeah, that plus the poison just seems to destroy him. And getting rid of all the refract charges. Mu doing slightly better now, but Dendi is still essentially free farming. He's got 25 CS and 14 denies. And at top, King J, level 4, compared to Funnick, who is also level 4, but Funnick has a bottle now, so he should be just fine at the bottom lane. He's actually farming quite well. He's got, since he did go boots first, it's a bit skewed, but he's going to have bottle boots in 5 minutes as a long lane, and that doesn't feel bad at all.
Wow, that is really good. That's going to help out a lot. His armor is still pretty low and his stats are still not very good, but he has more regen picked up, and any power shot harass he can do on Hao is really effective, especially because he was a little greedy. He picked up a bracer first. He's trying to get his drum up as fast as possible, and that means no Tranquil Boots for now, but he can just hop to the side shop with the Ring of Protection when he decides to ferry one over and get that regen up. So any harass that Windrunner can do now is going to be very useful.
And he's actually going to find this regen rune.
Ooh,
Almost loses
close.
it by Sun Chang.
That would have been a
Perfect
huge
position.